we present you a system of modern house construction which, due to its unique qualities, is not any comparison with others. Walling begins with corners. We shouldn't forget about the notches in the wall unit in the field of forming angles. Between the foundation and walls of the future must be laid effective waterproofing. Home construction begins with the foundation, which provided the issues to ensure a strong bond with the walls. This could easily penetrate the concrete from one wall to another, and the formation of so full of angular concrete pillars. Such a home is guaranteed high durability and reliability even in seismically hazardous areas, and thanks to you, it will provide several generations of your descendants. The first row wall blocks are always amplified by two reinforcement bars of diameter 8 mm. On the wall of building blocks 50 mm plotted risks that greatly facilitate the adjustment of blocks to the size of walls. A concrete home. In the corner of the wall, blocks carved and bridge formed in this way, vertical pillar laid reinforcement, special frame of 4 rods 12 mm in diameter. Laying the second row of blocks is just like laying the first row. Adjacent rows of building blocks connected by conventional metal braces. Polystyrene foam is lighter than water and certainly easier than the concrete mix. Clamp prevents the emergence of concrete blocks and leakage from the wall. Way to strengthen the walls with staples clearly visible from the cross-sectional wall. Staples must not be over one another, but staggered. Before you pour the first 3 series of building blocks, concrete, check the vertical and horizontal walls as well as to install fixtures. Using wooden wedges, eliminate possible deviation from the vertical. Concrete mix is filled. First draw several walls. Concreting is done via a simple design of the funnel. The design of such a crater, on the one hand, facilitates the pouring of concrete, on the other hand, eliminates pouring concrete castles compounds with subsequent wall blocks. There are other methods of concreting the walls of the whole story, but more on that later. Where the exterior wall shall not be later connected to the inner wall, such as brick, install issues a metal armature. If you plan to connect the outer wall and inner wall is in places of contiguity of blocks, should be pre-made cutouts for the smooth flow of concrete. For cutting blocks, you can use an electric knife. The approximate cost of steel reinforcement is 3 kilograms per 1 meter steel wall. Each connection between the walls erected by a block formed as carefully as the corners. Vertical reinforcement near the window openings provide high-strength walls. In addition, several blocks of the previous installation of windows, usually the fourth, reinforced horizontally so as to ensure reinforcement of the perimeter walls of windows' daily activities. Window opening to tell you how. The fifth row or wall blocks are placed in view of the window openings. The ends of the wall unit on the fifth series of lock plugs, which prevent leakage of concrete. Prior to each next stage of concreting, should not forget about the metal brackets. If in pouring concrete walls you decide to use concrete pumps, in which case you should use a system of props, enable the formwork to strengthen the walls and thus avoid the distortion of the walls. Struts are mounted on a concrete floor. If in pouring concrete walls you decide to use concrete pumps, in which case you should use a system of props, enable the formwork After laying on the floor, formwork is not possible. It continues to build walkways installed on a system of vertical supports. If a new building project provides for angles other than straight, this problem can be solved by rotating the blocks. The design of the rotary unit allows you to change the angle from 0 to 45 degrees. As with the formation of right angles, it also mustn't forget to notices for the smooth flow of concrete. When the shuttering of the whole floor is fully installed with the help of concrete poured, a concrete mix. Using concrete is made possible through the previously established system of vertical supports. When pouring concrete with the concrete pump, it is recommended to use already familiar to us from the funnel to avoid spillage of concrete. Earlier in the construction of exterior walls were installed these steel issues, and now, after pouring the concrete, they must ensure a reliable connection between the outer and inner walls, so that the joints will not occur walls cracked. In styrofoam, cut band width equal to the thickness of the inner wall, so that a fresh solution could be to link the two walls. After installing the formwork and stair construction of an external walls of the building is ready for the construction of the ceiling and subsequent concreting. Concreting ceiling with first floor is ready and the first phase is completed. After installing the formwork and stair construction of an external walls of the building is ready for the construction of the ceiling and subsequent Using a vibrator provides high-strength concrete, thereby increasing the strength of the whole step. You must be sure that the concrete meets the requirements of impurity suppliers of quality concrete for concrete as well as walls and ceilings. To do this, constantly monitor the quality of concrete. During the construction of the second floor houses, adhere to the same rules as for the construction of the first floor. Houses designed for single family typically consist of 2 floors. Moreover, in recent years, in most cases, trying to build a dome roof. Therefore, the erection of the roof required special attention. Every 60 centimeters in the wall to insert the metal rods anchor with a curved bottom end. This unique anchor necessary for the construction of roof trusses. After installing the anchors, fill concrete wall. We mustn't forget that before installing Maurer-Latta should put waterproofing layer which prevents the occurrence condensate at the site of contact of concrete and wood. Maurer-Latta with anchors attached to the wall, attaching the rafters, posts and rungs made with nails. Maurer-Latta is the element on which the rafters rest. The upper part of the rafter rests on the run and delayed truss. The distance between the rafters is typically 60 centimeters of the roof slope is different for each project, ranging from 30 to 45 degrees. Rafter connects Maurer-Latta vrupkoi followed by a test tube with nails. Mounting Maurer-Latta to the wall is being built by the release of one of the rebar from the wall followed by taping and securing nut bars. Roofs offered for attics should be insulated. Modern materials proposed for warming mansard roof easily and efficiently. 20 centimeters polystyrene by 50% reduces the thermal conductivity of the roof, when the same amount of mineral wool must take into account thick styrofoam casing to the top of the building down. Work on the roof insulation, installing roof form begins to perform below, although in some cases you can start from the top, but only if they do not need to nail down immediately, but after they are laid. In this case, we get the ease and speed of execution of the roof, as well as small amounts of waste. Roof formwork can be divided into two parts. One of width 23 centimeters is placed directly on the rafters, the other for the device lock on top. Castle of the cut in 30-degree angle for a device of the roof overhang. This part may be used for roofing in other places. If the roof pitch is not equal to 30 degrees, then the trim casing can be done directly at the place of the roof. After sticking the finished part, the rafters to hold the casing on the roof. Shore beam, which nail the bottom with nails. Work on the design of the roof completed the installation of front board 40 centimeters wide, which also nailed. Now once again recall that the installation of a roof starts from the bottom, ending the scoring device casing and retaining timbers filled with 100 to 100 millimeters. Ridge running, insert two hips and nailed. The important thing is the device overlapping roofs and fences on the roof. Wood leg nailed to the roof and it fixed metal fencing, shingles and more feet as usual. Skate device according to the following scenario. Polyurethane foam filled seam in the hips, then mounted a 60 cm metal rack unit holders a wooden skating run of 50 to 40 millimeters. At the end of the device, the roof begins to design interfaces of the roof and chimneys. It holds a special material and firmly fixed to the pipe and the roof. All that is necessary to finish enclosing element. The roof will protect you from the cold in winter and heat in the summer. On the walls of the building, begin to design works. Walls are well scoured, the dust and dirt prepared under the pad of special composition and styling of the grid. Good iron mesh surface, and that the walls were smooth and evenly spaced and rub the guded. Good iron mesh surface, and that the walls were smooth and evenly spaced and rub the guded. Need to mesh never sag. To have finished the structure, we impose special construction fittings to avoid picking on angles during operation. 3 days later, after drying, the composition can be performed. Decoration, gypsum, decorative forms are attached directly to the walls and drawn with a special compound and a dye. These methods can make a very interesting and decorative objects. By our technology can build houses of different stories. These homes are easy to build and economical to operate.
Которые благодаря своим уникальным качествам